Hello and welcome to Makilala, the first Filipino American television talk show here on QP-TV. My name's Maria Cruzley, and I'm one of the ladies of Makilala. I'm sure you know the other ladies. Rochelle, we have Jen, and we have Christina. So let's recap a bit. Makilala means get to know in Tagalog. So far, we've gotten to know Ryan Latada of Next Day Better. You guys went to the New York event.
We did.
In September, right? Rodora from Kalusugan Coalition, who I hear is going to the West Coast. Like, what?
I'm in denial. She's actually leaving because she's been such a huge part of the community. So I'm just gonna wait until she comes back in like 2 months.
Okay.
Or we could go.
Or we could just visit.
New York will miss her.
Yeah, New York will miss her,
kidnap her and come
definitely.
back.
And then we got to know QP-TV's own Gail Lewis, who actually, she actually learned more about us than we learned about her.
That's right.
So this is our, fourth episode?
It is.
How do you think we're doing so far?
We're doing good, I think.
I think we're all right.
You think
I think we're doing good
How are you
according to our
feeling?
1,000 fans.
We're getting there, we're getting there.
Yeah, we are.
So on this episode of Makilala, we're talking about voting and civic engagement. You know, November 5th is Election Day. Here in New York, we're choosing the next group of city officials that are going to run this city. And as someone who works in government, it really hits close to home, and I'm like preparing for all this change to happen. Positions up for election are the mayor, public advocate, comptroller, the borough presidents, and city council. But of course, we're on Makilala, right? We're here with a Filipino community focus. So we have an awesome person here today with us. We have Tito Merit Salud, Esquire. He's the region chair of the National Federation of Filipino American Associations for Region 1. And he's also the vice president of external affairs at the Filipino American Legal Defense and Education Fund. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Welcome, Tito Mary.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Hello. So we're actually going to break this conversation up into two parts. Tito Merit, you're here because I know firsthand you're very vocal about community engagement. Right? And ladies, I want us to talk through the importance of voting and civic engagement, just as a group conversation.
Yeah.
For me, it goes hand in hand. The people we vote in directly affect our lives, since they're the ones deciding the policy and programs, right? So if you're not involved in your community and government, all these decisions are being made about you without you. So
And you have no right to complain.
exactly,
Correct. If
right?
you don't vote, you don't have a voice.
Exactly. So Tito Merit, being that you're first-gen Filipino, can you share your thoughts about the difference in perception between the Philippines and the U.S. as it relates to voting and civic engagement?
Yes, actually, there is a clear distinction between what we are doing in the Philippines, the Filipinos, and what we, Philams, are doing it here. In the Philippines, it's more compliance with theory.
With theory?
Theory. But here in America, it really works. You really vote for the purpose of electing someone who will determine your future. That's why Philams are, more often than not, are really engaged.
Here in the U.S.?
Yeah, in New York, especially in New York.
Really? Why is there a perception that we Filipino Americans are not as politically engaged as other ethnic communities, like, for example, the Koreans and the Chinese?
First, insofar as Philams are compared to Filipinos in the Philippines, the Philams here are more political, I think, really political. But in comparison with other ethnic groups, we are not.
We are
Yes.
not. Okay.
You know why? Because we have this sad experience about politics from back home. That politics is not really for the people, but it's being used as a tool to really keep the people under control by those in power. Yes.
I mean, I was born in the Philippines. I came here
Like,
outside,
like for example, do you know that dynasty, political dynasty exists in the Philippines?
Yes, I
That to a
do,
great
yeah.
extent, yes.
Well, isn't it the same over here? You have the same families or dynasty, like you have the Clinton or the Bush. Or,
Yes, I agree with you. But but the political leaders from dynasties are qualified. They are really into politics to serve. Well, back home, you got somebody who's got elected who's a high school graduate who could not even speak English. Simply
that's a little problem.
yes. And the only reason why he was elected was because, he's the son or
So
or
is it like a
Action.
popularity vote kind of?
Or
As
just what
in,
they're familiar
like,
with. I think if
celebrity
they see the
vote?
name,
Yeah.
it's what
Yes.
they're comfortable in.
In other words, more on satisfaction of the form rather than the substance. It's more
It's for show?
Perception than what is ought to be.
So
Mary?
people are voting
go
without,
ahead.
sorry, people are voting without knowing what the candidate stands for and what the issues are. So
Actually,
like
yes.
low information voter, as some people say, or no information voter, just vote just for the
It
No.
is more than that.
sake of voting.
It is more than that because the information are really out. There are really serious attempts to inform the people, but people don't want to.
Why
Why
not?
is that
Why?
though? Why wouldn't
Because-
they care about who they're electing if those are the people that are in charge of the projects that are happening in their own barangay?
Because Filipinos are not really up to, doing something for what is right or good or better for the many unless they see themselves in the picture. If they don't see themselves in the picture, they will not lift a finger.
What do you mean? They don't see themselves in
Like,
the picture?
what's there for me? If they don't see themselves in the picture, they don't see anything for their benefit, they will not. They will not.
So how do we change that dynamic?
Oh, well, it takes, everybody must be engaged. Everybody must be engaged. All sectors of the society must be engaged in the Philippines.
In the Philippines?
Yes.
Okay.
They must be engaged. It cannot be halfway. You cannot just leave it to the school, to the church. But the family must start. In the family, it must start. The way we learn what's right or wrong, I think civic should start from home. The way we learn that it is bad to cheat, we must also learn that it is best to serve your country well. That it redounds to your benefit at the end of the day.
Yes, I think that's what me and Maria were actually talking about, like the kanya-kanya
Yes,
mentality.
yes.
Everyone always thinks that, oh, okay, I'm not going to be involved unless it directly affects myself and my
Yes.
family.
Yeah, you see, but then it's not really the fault of the Filipino. It is not the fault of our people. It is a cultural construct. Because we are actually divided. I mean, the Philippines is an archipelago consisting of some 7,000 islands. The Spaniards, they have perfected this tactic of hegemony by keeping us divided from one another. We are taught to trust nobody outside our clan except members of the clan.
Yep.
So that's where it stemmed from, that idea of kanya-kanya.
Yes, kanya-kanya.
But if
How do you
maybe-
explain patronage in all this?
Patronage is, I think, it's an offshoot of the padrino system of the encomienda, the Spanish agricultural system, where the landlord is like the godfather.
So that's the politician.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you vote for the politician because if he does not win, you lose your job.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
is that the
utang na
situation?
loob.
Yeah,
Utang na
that's
loob
right.
takes a very strong role in determining your future in politics or through politics. Unlike here in America, we could see that, it is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
So
it's
isn't
really
that
true.
isn't that the ideal condition?
Yes, it is an
Then
idea.
why are we not voting?
Why are we
Even
not
here in this
Yeah.
country?
In this
Again,
country.
this is, I think, the one factor is this, that sad experience from the Philippines that politics is dirty. Not knowing that in America, politics is essential for you to be a real American. You cannot be consider yourself an American unless you have these ideas, give life to these ideas in your mind and put them into action.
But is it possible maybe because we're so into our family, we have to support our family, that we don't really get involved until a tragedy happens in our own, and then let's say, give me an example from my own self. I worked in IT department for 15 years.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I wasn't involved in community service this way, you know, like a little bit of community helping other people. But my main goal was helping the family. And then when my family got deported, a tragedy happened, and then now I finally found a voice to have a cause, you know, to fight against immigration, you know, have an immigration reform and all that stuff.
Yes.
I mean, most people, I think, they don't have that wake-up call until,
It's too late.
you know, it's too late. I mean, I don't know if that's a Filipino mentality, or is it maybe because you're so engrossed into your family's business that helping out, reaching out to the other people seems like it's a difficult thing to do.
You see, but then again, my question is this. It begs a question. We're not the only people in this country who are into that, so engrossed with their family.
That's true.
Yeah.
Why is it that they're so politically engaged and we are not?
Yeah.
I think, again, let me go back. Because, you know, by being engaged in in politics, we are actually telling ourselves that we are not only responsible for ourselves, but also for others. And we are not used to do that, unless that other is a relative.
Correct.
So how do we
That-
break that? How
then-
do we break that mentality?
How we break that is by engaging ourselves, by reaching out to others. That's why I like the Gawad Kalinga system. It is very transforming.
What does
Can you-
Gawad
yeah,
Kalinga
can you
mean?
Gawad Kalinga, I remember that it's a social philosophy that started in the Philippines, where people help each other to build up a community
Okay.
for the benefit of the poor, and those who have more, they volunteer themselves.
Initially, they build houses.
Yes.
And then the
And then they-
houses
yes.
transform communities.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's really a
I like
transformative
that.
experience.
I like that. That's why I keep on telling in my advocacy, let's break out the shell of our self-imposed isolation. This is a choice, our choice,
Is it
not
also
my choice anymore.
Is it also possible that is it also possible that when we come here and become Americans,
Yes,
we become so comfortable, well off,
yes.
and then we have lost touch with our
Or take it for
community.
granted?
Yeah, we have lost touch with our community. We are so into ourselves, as Rochelle suggested earlier about the kanya-kanya
Yes.
mentality.
Again, the kanya-kanya system, again, at the end of the day, it boils down into this. Kanya-kanya because you don't want strangers to partake of your largesse. You don't want to be responsible for strangers. You don't like that.
Is that
Because-
is that common among Filipinos?
Yes, yes, yes. Not that they're bad. They're good. They're very compassionate. But when it comes to Filipinos, they seem to find them, you know, automatically this subconscious defensive mechanism comes out automatically. Because when they are with other ethnic groups, they are very compassionate. But only with Filipinos. Because again, I think it's a throwback from the past, a very, very dark past that we have really to consciously take out from, liberate ourselves from. Of course, you may tell me, oh, but then we are educated. Of course we are educated. No doubt about that. As a matter of fact, Philippines might be considered one of the most educated countries in Asia.
Yeah, yeah.
But tell me a mother who told his children, my mother included, anak mag-aral ka, son study well, or my daughter study well, so that you can save this nation and help others.
That's not what she said.
No.
Yeah.
No
What
one
she
said
told,
that.
yeah, you know what?
No
What
one
my
said
mom
that.
keep on telling me is that mag-aral ka mabuti para makabayad ka naman sa utang mo sa akin. Malakas ka na kumain, ha? Tamad ka pa. You know, things like that.
Mary, how do you react to when you hear Filipinos say that, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to vote because I was so busy? Doesn't that annoy you?
Yeah, I find it very pathetic.
Yeah.
I think that is, that is a sign of gross ignorance, of misplaced comfort. Thinking that if they are, politics is nothing. No. Politics is very important here. Because, like for example, I know that if you do not engage yourself, you don't register and vote, the community might feel, the greater American community, you cannot be trusted, you cannot be relied upon because you're only for yourself.
Is it true for both generations? Is it your first generation? I don't know about the second generation.
I
Are you
think the
guys
second
same?
generation
are
are.
you more involved, or maybe it's just the first gen?
Defend yourselves, ladies.
Well, I mean, I come from a government background, so of course, like, voting directly affecting me. Like, people are electing, you know, my new boss or stuff like that, right? But I feel like people my age are kind of scared. I don't know if it's scared. It's more like distancing, like, oh, I'm not a politics person. You know, politics is this big thing that is really scary.
Overwhelming.
Yeah. It's something that they don't know how to approach, they don't know how to touch. They see it on the news, but can only chime in on what they see, as opposed to taking it back and researching these people that are running for office on their platforms and what they can actually do for me. Like, going into this election, I took a step back, and I was like, what's important to me, right? Do I want to still live in this city? You know, am I going to be, if I elect this person, am I going to be able to afford to live in this city? Does this candidate care about the issues that I care about? So that's what was my process, like, going into this whole voting thing. But not everybody thinks that way, and I'm, you know.
Yeah,
For me, excuse me. For me, I think one of the big problems that we have is that the non-participation of the parents who belong to my group, the baby boomers. Most of you guys
Our
are
generation.
headed by baby boomers.
I'm at the bottom of the baby.
Oh, see? Imagine. Because I'm lucky I have my parents who are very, very engaged. And because
That's in
of
the
that, I have
Philippines,
this.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, from way back.
Okay.
But here, I notice a lot of parents, especially of my generation, they don't tell their children
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
What happened in the Philippines about martial law, or what's even happening here.
Yeah.
They don't engage them.
It's like an off mention
Yes,
about the Philippines, and then
and
over
where
here it's
the
just not.
children, you know, the second generation, where do they learn politics outside? So they would rather, you know, their efforts, their energies are more dedicated to save the whale, save the sequoia tree. Why? Are they stupid? No, they're not stupid. It's just they don't know where to focus
Save the
this.
trees. Yeah, I know.
And I blame the parents.
Is an environment a good focus too?
Yeah, it is. But before you could talk about environment, talk about your
group.
community. Imagine our community. How many parents know where to get, scholarship assistance?
that's a huge point.
That's huge.
Yep.
I didn't get
Why?
help.
Why? Because they're
No,
not
seriously.
engaged. They would rather work 5 jobs
Yeah.
rather than get it. They will tell you, no, I don't want to get, these are like crumbs. Crumbs. You're in America.
What do you
my
mean?
God.
You don't ask your kids to apply for scholarship grant?
I did.
Oh, 'cause
But
mine
parents,
did.
many
Some
parents
parents did.
Oh no, my
did
parents did
do not.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Because they don't know.
they asked
need
me
And they
to
would
apply.
rather pay for it
Yeah.
by taking
really?
triple jobs.
Well,
That's right.
well, no, I mean, my parents are get a scholarship, study well, get a scholarship, that kind of stuff.
But how
But there
many-
was never a this is how you find a scholarship.
Yes, yes.
You know?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And like, for example, there are many scholars, Filipino scholars, and they're really good. But they fell out of the scholarship. Why? There is no support system
So let
to
me
keep them.
Tita, let me like take it back to focusing on voting, like the importance of voting. Like how can the
Yes,
Filipino
yes.
community get involved? You know, how can they research like the people or what like your thoughts, right?
Oh, yes.
The importance of voting
I
and
could-
making a difference for the next 4 years of life here in the city.
Yes. For example, it's really very important to be engaged in these activities. Register and vote. Number one, again, let me repeat what I said. If you don't register and you don't vote, the community will look upon you as, you're not part of it. Because you don't want to share with them the greatness, the obligation and the responsibility and the benefits.
And I don't think people take us seriously as
Yes,
a
because we
community.
don't.
I don't.
Yeah.
They don't take us seriously.
Yeah, look at. I went to in the Department of what do you call this? The Department of vehicle, DMV.
DMV,
Yeah,
okay.
DMV.
Yeah, in Jersey. I went to that office. Everybody was speaking something different, a language not, dialect that is not English.
Okay.
But I never did hear anything, somebody speaking Filipino. And these are employees. Well, it's okay.
But Filipinos speak English. So
Yes,
kinda-
I know that. What I'm trying to tell you is this: there is no Filipino there.
At DMV, there is no Filipino
Yeah,
employee.
in Jersey.
Yeah.
So
At least where I went. What does it mean?
what does it mean? Yeah.
It means, politicians will not, share with us the benefits.
Aren't we the second largest Asian
Asian
American
immigrant.
group in the country? And yet
Yeah,
we don't
we are supposed to
have-
be. We are supposed to be in the top 3.
right, and,
Yes.
and yet we don't have such political clout. Is it because we're not?
Because we don't have the numbers. We don't show the numbers.
We
On
don't
the vote,
show.
we don't show
we
the
don't
numbers.
show the
Yes.
numbers. That's
Yeah.
the word. That's the operative word. We don't show the numbers.
Why would the elected officials take us seriously and even consider our proposals if we're not even there to vote for them? It doesn't make sense. Why
Yes,
would
yes.
why would they even go to us? So
And
that's one of the reasons why we
Yeah.
should be promoting civic engagement.
So
precisely.
when is the last day to register?
It is October 11th.
October 11th.
October 11th is when you should be postmarked the registration.
Just imagine here in I have some data here, New York.
Great.
I
Yeah,
have some
great.
data here. In New York, the state of New York, there are 102,851 Filipinos as of 2010 census.
102,000. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Of which 90,836 are 18 years or above. As of 2012.
Okay.
These are the possible voters.
Okay.
90,000.
90,000. Okay.
Almost 91,000. And they are concentrated here in
Queen?
New York City.
New York. Oh, okay.
67,292.
How many are registered voters of the 90,000?
I do not know. But what I'm trying to tell you is this, of which 58,969 are possible voters.
That's huge.
58,000. In Queens alone, you have 32,899 possible voters.
So if we had a Filipino candidate, we could have elected that person in office?
Of course.
But
and
it doesn't even have to be the
we
Filipino,
don't
though.
even have to be, they don't have to be a Filipino
That's
candidate.
exactly it.
Yeah.
We can support anyone.
Yeah, I know.
We could be heard.
Yeah.
We could be heard. And what I really would like to see is this, that New York would enjoy the greatness of the Filipinos, would see the best in us. They haven't seen yet the best.
That's true.
So what
They
is,
haven't seen yet the best.
what does NAFA do about?
Oh, we're
getting-
trying our best. But we cannot do it,
Well,
we can only go up to a certain extent. Because then the struggle is this. There are those who are also very suspicious of what. Well, I can live
NAFA?
with that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, what we're trying to do, we find that we're trying to get a more civic engagement within the
Right.
the young philams, young adults who are eligible to vote.
Yeah.
So what my organization is doing, Unipro, we're actually doing a program called Univote. So we're trying to go on the ground education workshops, going into the student organizations, going into the community organizations, and doing registration workshops before October 11, hopefully.
How is that? How are you doing
Well,
with that
it's all still planning. So
okay.
everything is going to be happening in October.
Actually, FALDEF has been doing that as in conjunction with NAFA's program. Because ever since I took office last year, I made only one regional program that is compulsory.
What is it?
Register and vote.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
we
Yes.
actually have to start wrapping this up.
Oh.
But I just want to, I guess, echo what everybody's been saying. Everybody has to vote. in the general election on November 5th.
Yes.
In New York City, we're voting for the mayor, the public advocate, the city comptroller, the borough presidents, and the city council. And we should all get informed. So there's a great resource for New York City, NYC Votes. Visit them online at nycvotes.org. You can learn about the candidates, their platforms, and finding the poll site location so you can actually vote, right? Tito Merit, thank you so much for joining us. If you would like to learn more about the work that he does, it's online. Information for the National Federation of Filipino American Associations can be found at nafausa.org, and the Filipino American Legal Defense Fund, Legal Defense and Education Fund, can be found at faldef.org. And yeah, so we have to get people out to vote, right?
Vote. It's your voice. If
Yes.
you don't vote, then you can't complain.
Right.
As they say in Manila, it's Tagalog, atin to. This
Yes.
is ours.
It's ours.
That's great. So
true.
again, my name is Maria Cruzley. I'm one of the Ladies of Makilala. You can watch this and other episodes on MakilalaTV.com or tweet us at MakilalaTV. Get into the conversation by using hashtag NYCVotes. Victor Palomos, thank you so much for the makeup and making us look beautiful, right? And of course, thank you so much to our viewers. Thanks for watching. Maraming salamat po.